Good evening, DW Randomizer fans, and welcome to the 2026 Dragon Warrior Randomizer Summer Tournament. We are in group stage action early on. Out of the Tantalgil group, we have HoodyTwoShoes taking on miplet, both in their first races. Hi, everybody. I'm DK9146, and we have what could potentially be a pretty fun one here. You know, miplet is a lot of fun. Tends to not always finish near the top, but does get on a good effort. Hoodie could be all over the place. Depends on how the map treats him tonight. He tends to get map bossed occasionally. So we could have a fun one here. We have a low strength start, only 6 strength to start. Do have 2 spells, but it's only Radiant and Repel, so not a lot of help out of the early gate. We'll see what the King in the throne room gives us and kind of go from there. But these runners will be getting going here any moment, and we'll be able to see what kind of fun these guys are going to have. And don't panic about the different CRCs. Hoodie uses a custom sprite, so that's just his custom sprite one, but he does have the correct seed. So we should be going here any moment now. And I do like that all screens on DWR for the foreseeable future. Absolutely. Multiple screens, DWR, nonstop. It's going to be hopping here through group stage, especially early on. A lot of runners tend to try and get front loaded on their races. And so we're going to see a ton of races happening here over the next 4 weeks of group stage action, but especially over the first week or two. We'll see how many of these we can get rebroadcast or red slime zoned on other streams as possible to bring you as much of the action with commentary, especially if we can, because that's half the fun. All right, here we go. We got the King given these silly instructions. I still don't know what it all says, and I've probably seen it about 3,000 times myself, but we'll get through it. And under chest number 1, we're getting some gold. Chest number 2 gives us the flute. Oh, baby, flute action. Quick check of stats there by both runners. Hoodie checked the spells. And we are going to use that key and get out of this throne room. We'll see if they opt to save the gold. It looks like Hoodie will. He's going to come back up, save the gold, see if he can make it somewhere with the starting gold. Miplet with a slightly higher starting gold as well. Will also opt to do the same. I think it's a very wise decision since strength not great, but you know we can make some dreams come true depending on what enemies we run into. Let's see what's outside. We are at almost certainly the top of the map, and Hoodie immediately sets up for a reverse. We're 4 south. 5 if you count the castle itself. And here we go. Some swamp south and west. And miplet also making a quick note of where he's at. And okay, not swamp blocked. I was waiting for it. We were going to be swamp blocked, but no. We do have a little path we can get through here. Does open up to the east there. And that is where Hoodie's going to go. It continues south and west as well. And nothing immediately in this direction. With that whopping 11 agility, of course, miplet gets ambushed by the red slime, and but he is going to take that on. Both runners, in fact, taking on their particular enemies. And miplet the first on the board with 2 experience. If Hoodie is successful, we'll get a whopping 3 experience. And there we go. Low strength, no worries. There's a second red slime for miplet. Oh, baby, I think, yeah. At this point, hanging out, he's got a third one. We got a metal scorpion, not even remotely on the board as of that. Hurt on the red slimes, but too little too late. He is going to be successful and be our first runner to get to level 2. Here goes miplet. Let's see what level 2 brings us. Got 14 power. That's big. 1 agility, 3 hit points, 5 magic. And we can use heal more, and he uses immediately. But that 14 strength, huge. 20 attack power will, oh my gosh, runs into a metal slime with exactly 20 attack power, meaning they are able to run. Oh baby, never mind. You don't want to see that guy anyway. Metal slime's blessed with hurt more. Meanwhile, just west of start, we have the grave for Hoodie. That knight's probably going to say something about him coming into the grave. All right, after miplet takes his death from that metal slime, he comes back out. Let's see where he opts to go. We'll see how many times Hoodie tries to press towards that grave as well. That can be very consequential. He doesn't know of a decent strength gain at level 2 yet, and hasn't ran into that red slime. He is moving out of zone 0 pretty quickly. We do see Sharlock there. I thought I saw that before, but Sharlock just west of grave, so pretty close by. The knight shows up again, just a little deeper, and again, we'll send Hoodie back. Meanwhile, on Miplet's side, with that newfound strength, he's taking on some enemies. The Magician does dodge, but should be... never mind. You know, that's why we don't speak too soon. I was going to say should be an easy kill, and it hurt more as well, so that's a second hurt more enemy. Got to find somebody different. Well, there's the red slime for Hoodie, so he should be getting his level 3, or level 2 rather, with that big 14 strength, and we'll be off to the races as well. Here in a moment, does look like he's opting to not head back towards Grave, as Grave has not treated him very kindly so far. Hoodie does continue to try and push out here, does head south. One little tile opening here to the south, heading southwest, and we'll attempt to try and go this way. Some lower mid-tier enemies in the way, but no problem so far. That Demon Knight might be a bigger issue, though, and there's a death. Meanwhile, Miplet did get level 3, came with another 4 strength. No new spell, or no, he got good spell, stop spell, so stop spell will be helpful against those hurt more enemies should we run into them again. But Wyvern's not going to let him free, so looks like Hoodie is finally going to just opt to try and grind it out. Yep, he is just walking back and forth in the forest tiles here. Miplet did try to push out the mid-game enemy, just not playing ball, so he's going to go back. We'll see how he opts to play the jump from 3 to 4. This Magidraki, pretty nice. Miplet finding out that hurt more on the Magician still exists, and we'll take another death to a Magician here. Meanwhile, level 3 for Hoodie coming in, and he gets the additional 4 strength there. Not much else going so far, but the Magidraki looking pretty spicy right now. This is a great enemy. There we go. Miplet using that stop spell. We got it. We might as well use it. We're not using the MP for anything else. Should have no issue with this. Oh, I was going to say no issue with the Magician. Now it's got another trick. It is running. It is running. Meanwhile, with the third Magidraki in a row, Hoodie's going to find level 4. We'll see what level 4 brings here in a moment. All right, Courage and Wit and other things. We got 2 power, 2 agility, 1 hit point, 8 magic. That's another heal more, but not a lot more. All right, Hoodie walking over through the swamp, maybe going to give this Grave another go-round. Miplet still has not seen it. This Magidraki does successfully take it down, and that'll be a quick jump up to level 4 here for Miplet. And Hoodie is into round 3 fight mode for the Grave. Nothing so far. And Hero walks to at least the first chest where we get a key. Gold right next door to really sell it off, and some more gold even more. So there we go. We got key, full key access. We'll see some things happening here in a moment. All right, kind of pushes further west just a little bit, just seeing what's over there. We see there's more land beyond Charlotte. We'll get some keys and get a quick check on the treasury in the basement from Hoodie's side here in a moment. Miplet, meanwhile, has not gone exactly to that west path yet to see those locations. May be able to figure that out soon, but first finds out Druids have baby breath. Yeah, Hero walks will always succeed where agility fails you. 14 agility, it's almost too much at this level. All right, Hoodie with keys is going to opt to go check the treasury first. Door is open. NPC's playing ball so far. Bottom right, we got the token. Gold in the bottom left, so a gold grind is on the table should we want it. We have a death necklace in the middle chest, and now that the NPC's out of the way, top left was a torch. Meanwhile, Miplet killing him a Magidraki. He finds out about those, has taking back the experience point lead and is just going to go ahead and grind out this level 5, which I can't say I blame him. The overworld has not treated him super kindly, so he's going to hopefully be able to pick this up momentarily. Meanwhile, downstairs is the tablet cave. So 1 free chest down here. We do not have outside, so we will be walking it back out. Hoodie making me sad, not using his radiant spell to see more tiles of needless cave here. And Erdrick left us another torch. All right, 5 more experience to go for Miplet here. He heals up to get back to max. He's going to get another Magidraki. This should be the winner chicken dinner level 5 encounter for him. All right, level 5 coming through with 1 power, 1 agility, 3 hit points, 12 magic, and we get the spell Sleep. But overall, nothing more. Hoodie made it through a wizard or a magician without finding out about the hurt more. So we'll see if that comes back at some point. Meanwhile, Miplet takes down a magician, also no stop spell, and does not get hurt more for his trouble. As Hoodie's using his torch wisely to get rid of him in the inventory, just throw it out of Magidraki. Whoa, there we go. Miplet walking west through this swamp is going to immediately see that cave that he's been missing this whole time. He does have the 1 heal more. He's going to take on this Droll. It will hit hard, and hard it does hit. Might have even opted better for a sleep versus the method he's going, but he might be able to get there. It's going to... No, he's hitting way too low. It's hitting way too high. Not looking ideal here. Oh, does just get it with a high roll at the end. Going to have barely any HP left, but going to try and make it into this grave. Lucky for him, while there is keys and gold in here, it doesn't really lead to anything of consequence early on. He's not going to have missed out on anything as a result of not getting the key, even if he is only a couple minutes behind Hoodie. He learned from Hoodie's mistakes, though, and just learned Hero Walk to the key. All right, that's awesome. So there we go. Miplet right there gets the 3 chests. Still hasn't even seen an enemy in this cave yet. Is turning a little early. There we go. Demon Knight's in here as well with the regular Knight. But that Demon Knight doing him a favor. Going to get him back to Tantegel a little quicker. He can go buy his keys. He can go get the treasury. Find out about the torch downstairs. Meanwhile, Hoodie's just going to go ahead and grind this zone over here. Does not want to deal with that poltergeist though. And immediately just says, screw it, I'm going back up to the forest. And I can't say I blame him. This forest would be a little nicer, should have had like a scorpion as well to go with this Magidraki. But the Magidraki and even conversely the magician, enough for level 6. We'll see what we want to do after that. Oh, round 2 with the magician. Still not going to teach him about the Hurtmore yet. Miplet did get a little bit of the bad side of RNG, I'm guessing, with the Hurtmore lands from the magicians early on. But the Zone 0 grind will continue until morale improves. Heck, we're even going to take on the regular slime. You show up, you're dying. That's just how this works. Well, it's amazing how fast we get tired of zones, and we have opted to just go ahead and leave and move westward. Miplet into Tablet Cave, about to get the news of the Erdrick's torch, and there she blows. All right. Meanwhile, Hoodie gonna press back out, see this giant mountain range, pretty much blocking everything southwest except for that one tile path we saw earlier, right here. You love to see a werewolf in that zone as well. So we have the Hurtmore Metal Slime, the werewolf, and then a couple mid-game enemies that can still be pretty consequential this early with only 15 agility. And after that death, Hoodie says, you know what, Zone Zero, not so bad. Not so bad. Let's take on this Magician. Surely it'll just keep punching and we'll never find out about Hurtmore. All right, miplet into the treasury. Is picking up his token now, getting the info about the other items here in the gold chest, and there's the death necklace as well. So now we're even Stevens on information as it goes. With Hoodie just having a slight experience point lead, we'll see how miplet plays this out. He is heading immediately back to the west. Magidracky here for HoodyTwoShoes will give him exactly level 6, so we'll see that here in a moment. And we'll see if level 6 finally brings any level jumps at all. We've had very poor stats so far. 1, 1, 4, 4. Yeah, that's definitely a level that exists in this game. In fact, the only good stat game we've received so far through 5 level ups was that initial 14 strength on level 2. One HP man over here for miplet, but the 15 agility not coming through, and will be sent back. Meanwhile, Hoodie pushing off to the east this time. We'll see if he's able to find anything. We know we're almost certainly on the north coast. The castle being the 5th tile south for those reverse enjoyers out there. And there's Demon Knights over here, and Demon Knights generally not an enemy you want to see with now whopping 16 agility, up from that big 15 we had at level 5. Well, it's either Tantagel or Tantagel is how I usually hear it. I typically will say Tantagel. I don't know if there's a right or wrong answer, and if there is, you can't tell me otherwise. I will say whatever I want. And that's how it works. I'm the one with the button. But anyway, there's a few of them, like Wyvern or Wyvern. I've heard this on a few things. So however you want to say it is the right way. That's the great thing about games that had no audio and no actual pronunciation being spoke of. You can make it up in your own mind. All right, I think miplet needs to just settle, get this level. It is not going to be life-changing, but when you're this close to a level, I think you just sit and you get it figured out. Meanwhile, we do come across a rogue scorpion. Hoodie is successfully able to sleep it and get out of it. We just crit stats. Just crit strats. Easy money on that Drakima. And werewolf's going to werewolf, and we're dead. Yeah, I think for Mikey Stone's point in chat there, I think that's why most people just say Rim. You don't hear a lot beyond Rim. Because, yeah, I have no clue how you're supposed to actually say that. But anywho. Yeah, I agree. There's money available. We can get a gold grind right out of grave. So we can get all the things. Should we find some place to spend the money, however, the overworld just not being very friendly as we try to press out. He is going to look like he's going to press straight west. It's the only direction we haven't pushed further than a little bit of the swamp next to Sharlock. So we will see if anything fruitful is this direction or no. He's going to settle in the west zone. See, but that's a further that's further down the line. That's more recent history. You can't rewrite the historic history and what your child mind has come up with in your head on how something should sound, regardless of who comes out with it. So if you've made up in your mind how something is pronounced, and then later down the line they try to rewrite your own personal history, just remember they're wrong and you're right. Metal Slime gets stop spelled, says, well, that sucks, I'm out. Meanwhile, we'll see what Miplet decides to do. This is a sketchy zone, even with the Metal Slime attempt here. On the opposite end here, Hoodie continued to press the west zone, is slowly rising, needs to get to 337 for level 7, and is getting there pretty quickly right now. 42 to go. Or 40, 45. I can do math. All right, we're going to sleep the Drolls. I think that's a smart play. They're still hitting pretty hard. Yeah, not the most exciting play here from Hoodie, but I think at this point, with what the seed's been thrown at us, it seems to be the right call. It's been somewhat intriguing start. We started with low strength and gold, nowhere to take the gold, but if you just buckle down, get that level 2, you get a big strength gain up to 20 strength, and then not a whole lot else. You got this. You got this tease of a grave here that does give you access to keys and more gold and an ability to do a gold grind now that we've determined that the treasury has a gold chest. But again, nowhere to spend gold. And the overworld is a little relenting on the secondary enemies once you're out of zones 0 through 2. And it's dodging. It's dodging. Does Hoodie get it down? I think he's still going to here. And there we go with 8 HP left. Hoodie on to level 7 here. And level 7 coming through with 8 power, 2 agility, 2 hit points, 3 magic. So 8 more power. Not terrible, I guess. But again, just not a lot in the way of anything that's going to help us. I mean, we have that heal more. Not really necessary when you have a whole 38 HP. But it's better than no healing at all. All right, Miplet going to try the southern zone. It's definitely, the southern zone just definitely not as ideal as the east-west zone. And I just don't think he's identified that as of yet. Meanwhile, Hoodie throws on Repel to keep at least the slimes away and is off and out. We're up to one-shot magicians occasionally now. Look at us being big, tough, strong heroes. Yeah, I think the question for Hoodie now is, do we sit in the same zone to get the 600 total experience for level 8? Or do we try and press out and see if there's a place that we can buy some upgraded equipment and add a few different enemies into the regimen? All right, looks like he is going to at least attempt to press once. We have seen there are some additional traversable mountains to the west, and immediately more trash with a Demon Knight showing up. We do get away on the second run, though. That extra two agility coming through strong there. Well, with our strength, we the Metal Scorpion would stay asleep. He got a 4 out there. Gonna put it to sleep again. And we do have a torch that we can throw on the back, and I think he still has the 1 torch left. But the Metal Scorpion, not very sleepy. Keeps waking up. Wisely heal Moors first in case the sleep doesn't land. But there we go. Back to sleep yet again. And a third attack. We're making progress, but again, this guy will not stay asleep. And we swing through. We're not going to... Oh, he got a low HP guy. He got through it. Well, actually, he did the 19 there, so I'll give it to him. The Wraith Knight is going to be our demise. Yes, we do have keys. The top of Grave had a key and 2 gold chests, which allowed us to go back and get more keys. We do have an option for a gold grind in the treasury as well, should we find anywhere to spend that. But so far, the only locations we have found is Tablet in the basement of Tantagel, Grave just west, and Sharlock just west of that, and nothing else. Miplet, you have to tell the just crit. You have to tell it just crit. The Hurt More is going to send him back. He had a slightly Brave Metal Slime. Unfortunate for him, he didn't have any MP left. 25% Hurt More. I always love to see the slimes when they have a heal spell because of the nature of their HP. They can never get into heal range, so you'll never see a heal or heal more from a slime ever. All right, Hoodie, trusting the Fist of Fury, takes down yet another Metal Scorpion. And he's only 100 away. I think at this point he's probably going to just sit down in this forest and get this last 100. It should come relatively quickly, all things considered. Meanwhile, over on the right side, Miplet just short of level 7, not going to find much in the way of help outside of a little bit of a strength bump once he does find that level here in a moment. That hurt more. Gonna keep him just short of getting the level up before this death, so he'll come back out. He only needs 4 experience for Miplet, and we should see level 7 for him. Meanwhile, we have a Metal Scorpion going here for Hoodie, and he is gonna go ahead and risk this last swing. Is successful and is now just 33 away from level 8. Another Droll down for HoodyTwoShoes. One more Droll and or Scorpion would get this level. Metal Scorpion for Miplet here does put it to sleep. Without that strength bump, is doing slightly less damage, but could get lucky and get through. 13 is danger though, so you might want to heal here. Meanwhile, Hoodie does hit level 8, and we get a big 14 strength, 3 agility, 15 HP, 7 magic, and more importantly, Hurt More, along with the ability to return. Well, that's the level you want. Yep, that's the level you want, and as chat just was pointing out, this is where Miplet's gotta just settle down. He just got level 7. He's gotta set down and get level 8, because level 8 is what it's all about right now. On the opposite end, Hoodie, super confident in having that Hurt More and ability to stay alive, does grab him some gold just to have in his back pocket, and is going to go out into the overworld proper and see what he can kill. That wolf was a nice find here for Miplet. Unsure what other friends are hanging out with it, though, is the concern, because it's not in one of the zone 0 through 2 zones. All right, meanwhile, Hoodie going southeast does locate a new cave. So we have a new cave here. Let's see what we got. Mountain cave. He is not going to take any chances. Heal Moors for 20 additional hit points. And at least the top so far, a little friendlier than what we know will be in the bottom. For Miplet, there's the rub with the wolf zone. You have a magic wyvern in that zone, and not as ideal. But chest 1 coming in for Hoodie here, going to provide a curse belt number 1. Droll Magi, a very nice hurt moreable enemy at this stage of the game. And does get ambushed, but takes it down rather swiftly. Is not topping off that HP, though. So we know, there we go. It's like, we know down here, this zone's a little scarier. A little scary. Going to go to the down chest first, get some more gold. Trying to head to the top 2 chests, and we do make it there with an herb and a fairy water. And this guy right here, absolutely not the enemy you want to see, but is able to successfully run from the Demon Knight. Uses an herb to top up a little, and can we make it to chest 5? Well, it's treasure guarded with a golem, but we have the flute, and he will, unfortunately for me to say this, wisely use it. As instantly, Miplet also finds a golem and will also use his flute to stay alive. And we get more knowledge, Curse Belt number 2. Yeah, for those talking good fortunes of the flute in chat, I don't know. I can't see your messages anymore. I might have blocked you. We are avid flute haters here, and there's nothing you can do to stop me from saying that. The flute is sadness. The flute is evil. But in all seriousness, that was a good mountain cave for Hoodie. He got a good run away from the Demon Knight, which was definitely not guaranteed at 21 agility. Overall, doesn't get much out of it outside of knowledge of at least 2 searches in play with the Cursed Belts, but doesn't have to worry about having to go back in there because he's full cleared now. Yeah, whoever's spreading those rumors, I'm going to have to talk to him. But meanwhile, Hoodie does check the north coast there above Charlock, finds there is nothing up that direction, and continues to try and traverse to the west. Does not go down over there, but we have a little opening here. And I think all this is going to ultimately do is take us back to that one tile opening we saw back to the east a little. We'll see what happens. This is a fantastic hurt moreable enemy. The highest experience giving enemy that's guaranteed to go down in 1 hurt more. And we are quickly closing in on level 9. On the other side, Miplet has been trying to press this wolf zone and has not been getting as good of luck getting them to show up, and has just now opted to go ahead and exit the area. We have a town. A town does exist. And there is the ham for the person that was requesting Garen ham since we had keys. Check the look at the shop. Oh, baby. Only a hand axe, but we don't really care. Just something to go with our hurt more. But more importantly, it does have magic armor, silver shield. Should we be inclined to do this gold grind, which we might even be able to gold grind out of here depending on what's downstairs. If we get either end of swamp in the basement of this, we get the 3 chests out of the back, he could immediately gold grind, come right back, get all the defense he's looking for. Well, this is, for Miplet, going to be a slightly lengthy battle should he have been successful, but he needed this thing. He did get enough swings in before it woke up. That's a huge pickup for where we're at on Miplet's side. Does need to just settle down and get this level 8 though, and hopefully he does that at this point. Just let it take you back, let it set you free. But we're gonna find out some chests here from HoodyTwoShoes and the back of Garen Ham, and bottom left we got a fighter's ring. Hoodie Noodful, he equips that fighter's ring. We got a dragon scale. All right, we got our wearables coming in. Equips the dragon scale, and unfortunately it's empty, which had to be an herb. We got Stone's Cave with a free chest in the basement, and survey says the first set of wings. All right, Miplet 38 experience away from the coveted level 8. That'll definitely open this up for him. And meanwhile, Hoodie has given us a lot of information. With the few locations we've seen, we found the majority of our checks. We still have grave checks 4 and 5. We have the rim chest, and then our 3 search spots. That is what is remaining in this overworld. But in taking down this rogue scorpion, we're getting level 9. And level 9 says 0 strength, 2 agility, 0 HP, 9 MP. So it'll be another heal more, but yeah. Meanwhile, Hoodie with his ability to go get that stuff, and that was really close now that we saw him walk back to the grave. He is going to come in here and try and set up this gold grind. That 23 agility run on a golem, definitely not free. Definitely not free. And it might even be able to hit us for that much. I don't know. I've never learned how to do the math, but it's going to be in that ballpark if he hits high. And there we go. Miplet does get him level 8. He gets that hurt more. He's going to get a refresh here, and we'll see how it goes for him. Otherwise, Hoodie running into all the enemies here in the top of the grave is not having a fun time. And stays alive. He's got a couple of heal mores left. I don't know if that was the second or third attempt to run. I think that was only the second. Third attempt does fail, needs to stay alive, and gets hit for too much. So he'll get home, get topped off, most likely be coming right back to try again. Miplet heads immediately into grave with his newfound hurt more, and he's going to go get the key in the 2 gold chests again. That knight, actually a really nice enemy if it doesn't ambush you especially, but he'll get 78 off of it. Hoodie heading back west, immediately jumps back into this grave as well. And we're finding stone men, we're finding everything. This top zone kind of stinks a little, which just further shows how well that mountain went for Hoodie, because this is the exact same zone as the second floor mountain, and he managed to walk through most of that without any enemies at all. Miplet going to make an attempt to dive this. Would love to see him heal here. 21 HP on an ambush, probably not ideal, and yep, there's a death. Yeah, that's just one of those little things I think you learn as you go, that especially if you're in a dangerous zone, spend the magic, spend the herbs, stay topped off, so that you can tank something of that nature should you get the jump thrown on you, which at 21 agility is going to happen pretty frequently. The unfortunate nature for Hoodie, he used the flute again, but it was still the right call, and we have made it downstairs. Miplet, after that death, seems intent on trying to most likely dive this, so he is back in here. Hoodie most likely going to show us initially if the dive is worthwhile or not. He's going to keep repel on, which is, I mean, at this point, what we're repelling through like ghosts. Not a lot of defense going here right now, but we do get an ambush from the knight on Hoodie's side. Does take it down. Meanwhile, Miplet gets a straight up, and we'll take him down. Is closing in on level 9. Chest 4 here from Hoodie, though. We got a torch. So it's kind of interesting. We've already seen the death necklace and the flute. We have the token as well. So we're looking for 4 things. We have 2 things guaranteed in search spots right now, having seen 2 curse belts already. So we'll see if anything does turn up in here. We're almost to chest 5. Meanwhile, Miplet, unsuccessful at trying to get back in there, has given up on his attempts at this time. And we'll have to do it. We have a vanilla harp in chest 5 of the grave. Hoodie, even with the resources still on him and this juicy looking knight, knows what his assignment is currently, which is to go get defensive gear, is going to gladly let the knight take him home. We will be getting a gold grind right out of the gate. He's already got all 8 chests that he needs to initiate the grind, so he'll be able to go in there, go straight to the gold, and start collecting. He's going to want 22,500 gold in order to purchase both that magic armor and that silver shield. Oh, that's right. He did not go back to that one. That's right. I forgot about that when he came back in. So he was smarter than me, but that's okay. He's playing. I'm just not paying attention. But there we go. We're printing money. We're printing money. 22.5 or bust. Miplet, meanwhile, back out on the overworld again after another death. But the only issue right now for Miplet is not too far behind on experience, but definitely a little bit far behind on exploration at this point, where Hoodie's had some good runs and some good luck at getting locations. Miplet's been running into a few buzzsaws at this point. It's more of a lease situation, but it's a free lease. That's what's kind of nice. All right, he likes the zone down here. It's a little weird. You know, we have the gold man that's a whopping 6 experience, 650 gold. The wyvern, there's a werewolf in here, and I'm not sure what else yet. But he seems to like the zone, and we'll see what happens. I mean, we're not super survivable right now, so I can understand the want to try and grind some stuff out. Hoodie, having taken the time to set up the gold grind and get all that together, is going to go ahead and play it safe and save, which I don't disagree with. That low agility could spell big trouble if you don't. But we're going to head back down to Garanham, pick up our gear here momentarily. Meanwhile, Miplet has started pressing out further. We'll see if he's able to locate something we haven't found yet, because he is definitely in a different area. And there we go. There's the official experience point change for the lead. Miplet just above HoodyTwoShoes here. Again, the big thing right now is going to be the exploration and finding things. If Miplet can parlay this exploration into like an Erdrick's armor situation where he's got a little bit extra from that as a result, that could be huge for him. But here in a moment, barring catastrophe, Hoodie's going to have him some magic armor and a silver shield and a ton of defense advantage. And there we go. So he does successfully make it back to Garanham on Hoodie's side, and there's a silver shield. That is okay. Here comes a magic armor. That is also okay. And unfortunate for Miplet, Fun's a great enemy, just out of resources, and the knight will send him back to start. All right, I expect to see Hoodie continue south. You know, if we can survive a wizard at least. So he was blocked in from the front. It's a shame. 2 run attempts down, 3 run attempts, but he will be out of the mercy roll here. Down 2 heal mores. I might just walk back in and top off that 16 MP before I walk away. To be quite honest, but he just wants to get the heck out of here. So we're going to head southwest, and we have a town here, what, maybe on the west coast? Yeah, this is the worst part about where we're at right now, just almost inabilities to run from anything. We do find Hawk's Nest. Almost assuredly something here. No guarantee. We know 2 of the 3 search spots are in play, but we don't know if all 3 are or not. Thinking about using the heal more, decides, let me herb up, and the red dragon is a red dragon, and I don't think we're going to be touching that for a hot minute. I like this play. Throw out a stop spell. If it lands, you have a decent chance that it has some type of spell. Does not land. We get 2 bites from the red dragon, and we are back home. But we have knowledge. Red dragon in Hawks. Not going to be dealing with that for a bit. Oh, baby, here we go. So Hoodie repelling is going to be repelling a lot more of the enemy base now. He's at 57 defense with all that gear. Get that 1 health every 4 steps, heal walking in play from the magic armor as well as the minor hurt more reduction that comes along with it. We're going to go northeast this time. We'll see how this plays out. Yes, we have not found Swamp Cave, so Swamp Spike's still out there in play somewhere. We still have many locations actually left. We found neither turn-in yet. We have not found either in the swamp. So we have 4 caves running around out there. We have Rim, we have Coal, we have Cantlin, we have Breckenary. So lots, 4 towns and 4 caves somewhere in this overworld. Meanwhile, here we go, level 10. 4 power, 9 agility, 1 hit point, 4 magic. So again, not a huge level. We're finally got a little bit of agility, so it's in the 30s. That's okay, I guess. I like that Axe Knight. It's got stop spell. Oh, we got another town here for Hoodie as well. Up here near the northeast corner, and we get, well, I mean, it's a top off. That's about all this place is really worthwhile for at this point. We have mostly everything we would want. I guess he could have theoretically went and saw if there was a broadsword. It could potentially pay dividends if we do have to get through that red dragon, or red dragon's even hiding the Erdrick sword. But that'll be for a later Hoodie problem and not a current Hoodie problem. All right, we are now coming down. Looks like a little dead end there on the coast itself. So we're going to have to come back inland a little bit to find any other locations. And it looks like they're all going to be towards the south at this point. Yeah, he has gone back up to where he saw the Axe Knight. Magic Wyvern, also a decent enemy here. Meanwhile, Miplet still continuing to get some decent experience here. Just shy of 2,000 experience. Just unfortunately has not come across these locations like Hoodie has. And the game's being a little rude, to be quite honest. Yeah, Golem a little tough to run from still at 32 agility. So is run blocked, and we'll have to bust out a flute to ensure he is able to stay alive. Meanwhile, here is Mountain Cave for Miplet. We know nothing of real note in here outside of knowledge of 2 cursed belts, which tells us there's 2 searches in play. Yeah, I would agree with Brian's assertion there, because the only real value we're getting out of that broadsword is if we're having to go kill and or grind on a red dragon later on and don't have Erdrick sword already. The extra 5 attack power is the extra 5 attack power. It's not negligible. It's not bad, but it's a little negligible in my opinion. Ooh, it's got hurt with that stop spell. So this Axe Knight is really freaking nice right now. But there we go. Level 11 simultaneously for both runners. We're going to get 6 power, 3 agility, 7 hit points, 2 magic. I was going to say, where the heck is Hoodie going? He walks over and back down to that dead end area. I guess he wanted to go top off, forgot that it was up higher. But there we go. Breck, their heads are getting a little big here in Breck because the hero actually visited them twice willingly the second time. The first time just because he wanted to know what the town is. Meanwhile, Miplet clearing out these chests in Mountain. Doing so fairly well so far. Let's see if he can make it to chest 5. Because I was going to commentator curse him and say it is not a free walk. But does get away from the Demon Knight. Hoodie has opted not to stay in that desert at this point. Is starting to walk down and south after the top off. Still getting an Axe Knight though, and we're going to take Axe Knights. You don't turn down Axe Knights unless you are not leveling any further. Wow, and after seeing where Hoodie is right now, Miplet was over this way quite a while ago. Just missing out on that Breck area. Unfortunately, not much else in this area for him. But just lost that little bit of knowledge and a little bit of extra backtracking that he might need to do. Out past the mountain cave now. Finds a dead end through this little bridge to this island and is going to continue most likely south unless we're blocked. We are blocked, so he has to backtrack again. Meanwhile, nothing kills Miplet. He goes ahead and successfully walks straight out of Mountain Cave, is in that same exact area Hoodie just was. And in the meantime, Hoodie really testing that 35 agility on this Golem, and the Golem was not having it and sends him packing, just not wanting to play the flute. And I can't say I blame him. So I get that. It's not necessarily a bad death, but it's a death this particular commentator will support. All right, Hoodie down, heading south. We'll see if he can come across anything new here. He's leaving no edge unturned here. Going to go across the swamp onto this next little island. This is just south of where he was prior to dying. Meanwhile, Miplet also back at start now. After a fun death there, we'll also go back out. We'll see which way Miplet decides to go. All right, Hoodie, you finding another little one-tile gap opening here to the east, except this one does appear to at least initially open back up. On the opposite side here, Miplet is going to make another attempt towards the base of the grave. And as we know, does need to do it to get the harp out of Grave 5. However, that harp not going to do a lot for survivability and or getting experience. All right, the end of that little path for Hoodie, another dead end. So, got to keep going south. For those that may have joined us late, we had a 6th strength start. The runners got gold and the fairy flute out of the treasury, or the throne room. Just had to get to level 2, though, to get a big 14 strength bump. Level 8 came with the Hurt More. Initially, not a lot happening around start. There was the grave just west, which had a key and 2 gold chests in the top. That did allow us to get to the basement of Tantagel, which had the tablet cave and a torch. And it did let us get into the treasury, which did have a torch, a death necklace, the token, and a gold chest in the bottom left, which Hoodie has now parlayed into finding Garenham, which had magic armor, silver shield, set up the gold grind and has got in there. Unfortunately, Miplet just keeps missing these locations. He's been close to a few of them at this point, and just getting very unlucky on some untimely deaths has kept him from getting the exact same knowledge. But he does reach chest 4 in grave and finds out about the torch, and we'll be progressing towards chest 5, which is our harp here in a moment. Hoodie out of resources at this point, desperately hoping a town shows up. We got 3 options left. Yeah, we still have Still have Rem, Cole, and Cantlin running around out here somewhere. 3 HP man is still alive. Still alive. He's walking. He's walking. Finding a great hurt morable enemy. No hurt more in tow. Runs successfully. Continues to find absolutely nothing. A swamp wall on the north and northeast of him here. More desert to the south. Land sprawling out everywhere. Cats, dogs living together. Mass hysteria. But a whole lot of nothing. Man, he has found an absolute giant void of anything. All right, so he is back at the start. We'll see which way he decides to progress, but I bet it's going to be southward as Miplet does reach Grave Chest 5 and will successfully pick up his heart. Both runners quickly progressing towards the 3,000 experience needed for level 12. The big noted difference, Hoodie with just all of the additional exploration knowledge at this point. Even knows where Hawksness is with that red dragon, just no ability to remotely take it on, and finds another town here on the coast. We got Cole. Oh, baby. Cole does have something, and it is our Stones of Sunlight. So that's all the guaranteed homework items in the overworld. Though we do know at this point at least one of the Erdrick's gears either in Hawksness or on the cords. All right, so knowing that one of our Erdrick's gears is still available here outside of Sherlock, do we think both are? Outside of Sherlock, we have the Coordinates potential, Hawksness potential, and the Chest and Rim. So 3 total checks left. We know guaranteed one of those 2 search spots is one of the Erdrick's gears. Where's the other one going to be, and which one is it that we're going to find last? Well, both sides, we're finding a few enemies here that are just not our ideal targets with Hurtmore. Both runners still really close to this level. Hoodie went south and east last time, is going to go south and west through that opening. This time, hoping to maybe stumble across something. And this is his winner for level 12. Meanwhile, Miplet 104 away. We'll see what level 12 brings here in a moment. We got 5 power, 2 agility, 0 hit points, 1 magic. Yet again, pretty much a nothing burger. I mean, we're going to need the strength eventually. However, strength is not what we want right now. We need everything else, basically. We want some more agility to make it a little safer to walk around. We need some HP to eventually be able to take on this red dragon. Some MP is always going to be nice, and we're getting none of it. We do get one of our caves, though. So either in the swamp or either turn in, and another one of our towns. Okay. Well, we got Keysville. We started with Keys. He has 3, so he will... Well, he's going to go buy them first. He's going to go buy them first. That's okay. I'll allow this, I guess. I would have probably spent the 2 keys and then went around the bottom, but either way, it really works. I don't foresee him needing all these keys at the end of the day. But, what are we going to have in this chest? What are we going to have in this chest? I think we're due for another herb. Miplet just north of where Garenham is, needs to go south. There it is. I missed what the chest was because I was watching Miplet side, but another flute. Dual wielding flutes, baby. Oh, beautiful. It was a key. All right. You love to see it. That's pretty awesome. All right, so now we'll find out what this is, and it is our Staff of Rain Cave. One old man has been expelled into the ether. He just disappears. We're standing in front of him, so there's literally nowhere he can walk. No idea where this man goes. He's just so joyful over receiving a harp that he just instantly is teleported to the nothingness. You can't cast return. I don't know if that guy has enough MP left at his old age, but I guess that is an outside possibility. Maybe some past explorer gave him a set of wings. But we do find another cave. 2/3 chance it's swamp of some nature. 1/3 is jerk, and we got swamp north. Our spike, a blue dragon. That's exciting. That's real exciting. I can feel the joy in Hoody's aura through his stream. He's super excited about that blue dragon. So this takes us to the southeast corner, which does take us to 2 more locations. So there's our jerk. We are ready for him. We're going to get the rainbow drop, and we are Sharlock eligible at this point, though we are not remotely Sharlock ready. And we are going to find our town of Cantlin and see if there are some coordinates. All right, old man says 20 south, 5 west. Feels very countable. Don't have to worry about that reverse. Think we take 1 step left, take a death. No, he heal mores. But what else would he be looking for? We've seen it all. We've seen it all. I'm not sure if he realizes that, but we've already seen everything from his perspective. All right, Miplet gets all the knowledge out of Garanham. Unsure if he's going to want at an hour mark and change to do the requisite grind to get the gear. We'll see if he does or not. He does come across Hawksness here just west of Garanham. I'm going to find out the news about a red dragon, most likely, as long as he is able to make it there. There are a couple sketchy enemies in the zone. Okay, he just wanted to top off on some stuff and all that, and now he's just going to go ahead and count it out from here. So there we go. We just got to go 20 south, 5 west, and Erdrick something will appear in our inventory. It's going to be crazy. It is the armor on the Corge right next to Star. We probably walked over it about 15 times at this point of the game, and it makes you feel bad. Oh, baby. So now we're down to 8 checks remaining here for Hoodie. I think he's going back up to that northeast zone where that Axe Knight was, and that does appear exactly to be what he's doing. Because at this point, he is in grind and go mode for the most part. Does still need to pick up an Erdrick sword, but it's either below a red dragon in Hawksness or inside of Sharlock, neither of which we're wanting to deal with at this point because we are lacking in many areas at this point at level 12. So let's see what happens. Okay. An 82 attack point golem fight is a thing that can be done. 39 is not safe. He is going to attack through, but 39 is not safe right now. Gets lower end rolled though, so bailed out. He'll heal more here, but I'm trying to decide if this is a worthwhile fight or not. It feels good to get 350 experience. But this is a slog, and we could have possibly found three Axe Knights by now and gotten more than that. Alright, doesn't look like Miplet is in much of a care for doing a gold grind at this point. Does continue his exploration, does come across the town of Kull. So he will be picking up his stones here momentarily. Maybe, I mean, he's got a little bit of gold. Maybe he goes to see if he can upgrade that leather armor. We'll see what he decides to do. Hoodie, meanwhile, Golem continuing, does successfully take it down and picks up a nice 350. 350 is pretty nice to have. Like I said, it feels good, but I don't know if it's time value was there. Oh, and I missed that question in chat. Yeah, at 61 HP, we're not going to be able to kill the Fun Police unless that dude just low rolls the absolute heck out of us, or shows up with like a stop spell that we weren't aware of. Ambushed by a golem always feels wonderful. It fills you with joy. We are going to flute it, or we're going to fight it. Well, we're running from this particular one. We're going to run from this one. And if you're not aware, there is a town just east of here in the form of Breckenary that we can top off our resources at. So Hoodie in a decent spot here right now. Definite advantage all the way around. Miplet not too far behind on exploration at this point, but just a huge gear disadvantage as it stands right now. Alright, 4125 is the magic number of experience that we're looking for both these runners right now to get to level 13. And at the rate we're going, Hoodie should be there relatively quickly. You know, all these ambushing golems not making us feel great about our lives, but we'll get there. Hoodie doing a very nice pro move there, which is move up into the lower encounter rate tiles, which were the forest, to try and heal walk some of that HP back, because we're going to incessantly be ambushed by Axe Knights until something happens. We're just not very agile, and we're getting the brunt of these ambushes, that's for sure. Although I think he's getting slightly more than he should be. It's every enemy is just ambushing. It's amazing. But this guy is level 13 once we successfully take him out. Staff coming up for Miplet. Meanwhile, we're getting 16 power, 2 agility, 9 hit points, 11 magic. Pretty much worthless spell of her. Yeah, 70 HP, still not an ideal Red Dragon fight at this point, especially with the 69 defense. And I was going to say nice as well, but it does look like maybe Hoodie's going to go give it a shot. I don't know. I'm kind of curious where his thought is, because yeah, this Red Dragon, as chat was just bringing up, definitely not a reliable fight right now. So I don't think there's necessarily a big rush to get here, because the only thing that can be here is the sword. The sword's going to do not a lot, unless he's wanting to have the sword for incorporating those golems in. We did just get a decent strength bump, and then another 25 from a sword would be huge. So I guess that could be a thought. Still going to have to He's definitely going to have to play as if this is a Dragon Lord fight. He's going to have to heal on bigger swings, make sure he's in a good position to not get bumped off with some high roll. Again, like I said, I never learned what the math is for most enemies, but I'm guesstimating that what that red dragon can probably do about 42, 43 damage right now still. Meanwhile, on the right, miplet getting the last little bit of exploration in over here. Just does need to come across the swamp cave and go through, and he will find those last two locations. And will have fully caught up on exploration. Just needs to catch up on the rest of it. He's not really that far behind, though, all things considered. And there's a 42 from the red dragon right out of the gate. Yeah, high rolling like crazy here. There's our swamp north. Oh yeah, this red dragon's not messing around. It is hitting all the high end of its range. 42s, 3 42s already. This is insane. Absolutely insane. We get the blue dragon knowledge for miplet. And he has to take a risky swing with a 39 HP remaining because he doesn't have a lot of options. That 23, really nice. You know what also have been nice? A crit. He's 1 or 2 swings away. He's 1 or 2 swings away, depending on what HP this red dragon opted to roll. Another 26 is a low roll. Very nice. Almost certainly going to be a guarantee kill on this next swing unless it tops out and we low roll. But, oh, he got another great roll there. Yeah, we still low rolled and got him. And it is our sword. There we go. So he has got the sword. I am assuming he's going to parlay that into golem fights at this point and go back to that northeast zone until we can much more reliably fight a red dragon. Meanwhile, on the other side, miplet did go through the swamp, find out about that blue dragon, has hit the other side, and has noted the last 2 locations here, has upgraded his 3 items to 1 item in the form of a rainbow drop, and is now in Camplin, and we'll get news of the very easy chords to pick up as Erdrick's armor. They do have a large shield, however, miplet just shy on gold. If he does want to opt to get a large shield here to upgrade his small, that would be the play. Doesn't have to worry about that. Doesn't have to worry about that chainmail though. That's about to be upgraded in a moment once he gets these cords. Oh, yeah. For the question on the time saving to the spike tile, overall steps, it's slightly shorter going up, but it is definitely more desert tile encounters, and if you don't have the armor, it's an additional tile of swamp damage. However, I don't know. Some people did some math, and I think it almost ended up being completely negligible, if I recall. This was a couple years back, but yeah, some math was done, and ultimately it was determined it was almost negligible. But I think the top won by like less than a second or something. Hoodie though, super close to 14 and already in this area. Gonna try and get this level. And I'll be honest, his swings are kind of poor for the big strength gain he just got. There we go. So this will leave him 1 red dragon shy or some other type of enemy. Yeah, he's just gonna walk off some health, I guess. We still don't have baby heal yet, although we have a 1/3 chance of getting it at level 14. Meanwhile, here goes the count from miplet. He is doing the south count right now. Werewolf has sleep. Okay, well that's fun, I guess. Well, he's got to wake up. He doesn't, so he's going to take an L here. we'll see how he has to play this. He might start coming back down this way. If he does want to come back down this way, if I was him, I would leave Repel off and just try and encounter a couple, not obviously 0 through 2 enemies, but a couple other enemies in the other zones around there on the way back just to have that level. But he is just going to throw on that Repel, especially at this time. You're pretty much ingrained in your mind about repelling and not thinking about letting some of those lesser enemies come through, because even a couple mid-game enemies gets you that level at this point. Or, you just go west and run right into a knight. That's kind of nice. Yeah, we'll take a knight. Erdrick's armor for Miplet, level 14 for Hoodie, 0 strength, 3 agility, 11 hit points, 9 magic, and a super important spell of Outside. That HP, though, will make the Red Dragon fight a lot more feasible for Hoodie. The Silver Shield, not inconsequential where we're at as well, just because of how continued low agility we've experienced. The extra 10 defense versus even a large shield, let alone the 16 gain that he's getting over that small shield Miplet has, is rather big at this point. Oh boy, we got ambushed by the werewolf this time. We didn't get slept, and we did one shot, but it opts to not use sleep this time. It is dodging, and now we're going to take the nap. And that is the werewolf's talent. It is a little dodgy, and it is not super, super likely to go down in a single hurt more. So Hoodie blowing through a little bit of his resources here. I mean, we have an 84 max MP at this point. He's already in the 40s. Miplet did get up to level 13 here. Let's see how he plays it. I mean, his last move is to get back and get the Red Dragon. The only issue is he is, again, 16 defense less than where Hoodie was when Hoodie was trying to do this. So he's going to be taking some potential mid to upper. Yeah, I think we can get into upper 40s at this point with a Red Dragon fight. All right, so from Hoodie's side, we're just going to be seeing Red Dragons until we get Ghost Stats. Ghost Stats still a little ways off at this point. As it stands, we have we're getting close, I would say. All things considered, at 14, agility still stinks overall, but our strength's in a decent spot. A hit HP could be a little better, and then we have 10 heal mores as it stands right now. But he playing it tight on this Red Dragon with only 2 heal mores, but is successfully able to take down another one. 3 Red Dragons away, is just going to opt the Death Warp at this point, and even gets the courtesy ambush kill. So that's one of the few times you want to see an ambush that just expedited that death. Assuming that he's coming back down here at this point. No, I guess he's realized that he's having to use a ton of resources to deal with that. Is heading back to the northeast zone. Okay, I will assume we will incorporate in Golem fights using that flute to our advantage. Obviously looking for that Axe Knight. First and foremost, this werewolf is obnoxious, but we will take it out hopefully on the way by. Yeah, it's a little curious. I mean, we aren't that far away from Garenham. I know you don't like to keep walking in and out of both those locations. I've been trying to decide if I would want to be doing a Red Dragon right now. I probably would be still in the Red Dragon personally, but hating every second of it. But if we get some good encounter rates up here, this will be equally just as fruitful and a lot less resource hungry, to be quite honest. especially if the Axe Knights just keep showing up like they are right now. That's fantastic. I mean, we'll go ahead and take this out too. We have Breck just off to the east that we can top off our MP pull in pretty quickly. We have 430 experience left to go to the next level. So we know there's a Magic Wyvern, Axe Knight, and a Golem in the zone. I'm unsure what else is in here. Should we have left off Repel? But Hoodie probably has a good idea, and that's why he threw it back on right away. Well, once we're successfully able to take out this Golem, that will be level 15. Meanwhile, I think Miplet's kind of playing it wise. He's trying to get the level 14 first just to see if that helps out at all. And we do know that will make it a little more feasible for Miplet, even with his lesser defense, to be able to take on that red dragon. But here we go, level 15 for Hoodie, coming through with 0 strength, 6 agility, 16 hit points, 5 more magic. I think at this point you're going to go back to the red dragon potentially, but he is just walking back and forth for now. Well, meanwhile, we got Miplet in a desert south of Garenham, just to the east of Hawksness. We've got HoodyTwoShoes in the northeast corner, Goleming and taking on ye old Axe Knight as well. It is definitely a lot less resource intensive, though the Fairy Flute requirement here on the Golem does add a little bit of extra time from that 8-second countdown of that terrible music. Seth, I'd get a hero running this. Yeah, that's when it always shows up. You're like, hero walking like crazy when you want anything but. All right, 56.25 needed for Miplet for his level 14. 97.50 needed for HoodyTwoShoes for his level 16, and that's basically the story of the seed. The little bit of experience gap is all between two things: Hoodie getting a little better on the exploration path and just closing out exploration a lot quicker, and Hoodie getting the extra gear early on through a gold grind because of that exploration has led to the gap that we're seeing right now. Both runners basically in the end game. Miplet not with the Erdrick Sword yet, but will almost certainly be getting it at level 14. I will assume he will at least go attempt that red dragon and should be able to successfully get it. He's just going to have to play similar to how Hoodie did at level 13 with heal mooring more frequently than you may necessarily want to. HoodyTwoShoes doing the unthinkable, which is going into this silly shop in Brecken area. I guess he's okay. I can understand the logic behind it. He's gonna get some fairy waters, but he still has the death necklace, which might ultimately not be needed, but doesn't want to get rid of it in case it does become needed. So he's kind of prepping across the board here, but he's gonna have 4 or 5. I don't know what he had available space-wise there, but he's going to have a few fairy waters in case that ultimately is necessary. We're super close to level 16, and we'll see if 16 is going to be enough. We're going to We're super close. We are just super close. We got that borderline HP right now, 97. Absolutely go for Hoodie should he want that to be go. But the bigger issue is the lack of strength right now, and then that terrible agility, which may cause us to lose some resources on our walk. Meanwhile, over on Miplet's side, as expected, as soon as we got level 14, we topped it off, and we are in to take on this red dragon. And he does get first action. Let's just hope that he plays it well. He gets a good roll on the red dragon. Is going to get a double up before having to heal. Actually, another low roll. So, in a good spot so far. Yeah, 48 should be safe. So he's 1 or 2 swings away, depending on which way the dragon's HP rolled and how well the swing goes. See, at 45, you got to heal more again. There we go. There we go. Yeah, that's what you got to watch for. I said we'd get mid to lower uppers on him, and we sure could, but we got dueling red dragons, and there's this last swing. And an Erdrick Soar for Miplet. Looks like Miplet's going to try and deal with this red dragon. Does a little heel walking there. Runs into a werewolf. Gets a one-shot on it. The heel walking, ultimately, I think if we keep doing that heel walking, it's going to add more time to it than it would have been just to heal and top off. But we'll see how it goes. We need 2 red dragons for Hoodie here to get to the next level. Quite a few for Miplet because we got a little bit of a ways. Man, a couple 46s there. It's just brutal. And this is the inherent issue with where Miplet is right now at level 14 without that extra 16 defense that Hoodie had is you're just getting hit so hard on occasion. Yeah, there was no guarantee for Miplet that the sword was there. We had saw 2 cursed belts and already had something in Cole and in the cords. But there was if there was a decent odds, and there was literally the only check left in the overworld for him at that point. It was the same situation for Hoodie. It was their final check either way. Nice crit there for the level for Hoodie. And yeah, it's pretty high. It's pretty high, I know that. But what we got, 16. We got 4 more power, 6 agility, all the HP, and some amount of MP, but it was decently enough as well. That is intriguing as heck right now. But I think with how fast the Red Dragon can be, I think you do 1 more level. Yeah, 54 agility. We still can't be certain to be running from enemies. Can't be certain to be running from enemies. You don't want to, with only 77 defense especially, risk the 128 Death Necklace play. Is he going to take this? I don't know about this play. It may work out. It is super sketch. We got potential for doubles. I think the biggest issue for me here is you're just not going to be able to run very consistently unless the RNG gods smile upon you, right? So you're going to be facing a lot of things. We have not seen Armor Knights. Have no clue if they exist. But if they do, and they have anything, that could be nasty. We have Werewolves with Sleep, which, while we have a ton of HP, you're most certainly not going to die from them. They could play hardball and keep you asleep 4 or 5 turns and, tank half your health. We're not repelling anything in Sherlock because our agility sucks so much. And doubles are not guaranteed when you're getting bit for 50 or 51 from the Dragon Lord, so. Yeah, I'd agree. He doesn't know he's ahead. Additionally, to be quite honest, for most runners in this game, I don't think anybody ever thinks they're ahead. I think in the 7 years I've been playing this game, or however long, 7 years I've been playing this game, I've probably felt ahead in a race. I can probably count on my hands. It's so rare to ever feel ahead in a race, at least for me. But here we go. We're gonna at least give Sherlock 1 attempt. We'll see how this goes, because especially if he makes deep progress and this goes south, or even Dragon Lord and that goes south, this is giving Miplet the time he needs to catch up. And we'll see what Miplet decides once he hits that level 16. So this is, there we go. Immediately our first enemy is a red dragon. The very first enemy is a red dragon. And as an avid watcher of HoodyTwoShoes' streams, I know exactly what he was just saying. And then the second enemy, an ambush red dragon. You gotta read the sign. The sign is telling you, fight me, and we just keep turning away from it. I absolutely agree, Kick. I don't think there's any way I'm going on this level. Like, I want it to work as a runner, especially, but I just don't. You just gotta just get really, really lucky. It would have to be astronomical luck just on getting downstairs with full resources alone. Is the astronomical luck, let alone getting through the fight. But we'll see how it goes. Meanwhile, over on the right, Miplet's getting dodgy red dragons, and so he misses out on level 15 because he would have almost been guaranteed, assuredly, had he gotten off the other swing. But, you know, red dragons dodgy on occasion. I will say with the 54 agility, Hoodie getting some good runs from these reds in Zone 1 ultimately. He did take a couple risky runs. Some risky heel walking. I think he's still only used the one herb. We got green dragons. We also had not seen a green dragon. So that is a new enemy as well, but it seems like it just has teeth also. Yeah, Death Necklace at 128 is not ideal because you're going to be at a 96 max, which isn't a guarantee on any stretch of the imagination. Plus, the physicals themselves can go over that 48 threshold. So even 129 is not ideal, right? Because while you're at the 97, which most people think is like where you want to be in, and it is typically, 97 HP is still not safe if the Dragon Lord decides it wants to be a monster and hit you hard. Yes, Brian, sketchy is not the word for it. Especially with an absolutely free red dragon grind. 5 red dragons wouldn't have taken any time for him to have gotten. Well, it would have been 6 at that point, but you know, sometimes you just don't think through in that situation. You're like, I can make this work. And we are into Zone 3 with only 2 herbs down, so we'll see if Zone 3 is a little nicer. I'm not asking for much here, but I do want the Armor Knight to show up as our spike. The only Armor Knight in the entire seed be the spike. But I also do think it would be funny if it was the green dragon so that we had all 3 dragon types on the 3 spikes. Meanwhile, Miplet finding all the dodgy red dragons. Dodge, dodge here, dodge, dodge there. But we are making the north turn on Hoodie's side, coming across to the east side of the basement. Completely lit up because there's a ball of light that is down here. It's amazing. All the water down here as well. All right, we're down to 2 herbs. He is going to double herb, you know, 128 max, so still left some wiggle room in there. Is getting some decent runs, I will agree. We're coming down the stretch towards the spike. Spike is a Stone Man with an ambush, and we can use a sleep here. Well, that kind of stinks. The Stone Man on the spike is meh, but nice swing there. And then the crit's going to finish it off, so you've got a bonus heal, throw it out. And we'll see how he decides to play it once we get over here. Is he going to play it with using the Death Necklace and 96 max HP? Or is he going to play it hoping for doubles in the lower 6 to 13 range? He has been called a fool. He is into the Dragon Lord. He is going to Death Necklace. Okie dokie. Let's see how this goes. He will have 96 max HP once we get into the second phase of this fight. Does get a nice 44 out of the gate. We'll want to use that last herb and hope. He does get a stop spell. And double stop spell. He's going to go in max HP, 96. 54 agility does lend to an ambush, though. Let's see what happens. So obviously we don't get ambushed. That's how this game works. And we're out of the gate with a 10. We'll get an opening double. That's 28. There's one of those high physicals. That's 42. Bad heal more. Is going to double heal more. $56. Another high physical. Another bad heal more, real bad. In danger. That is 70. Bad heal more, in danger again. 87. It's a nice low physical, going to heal max again. In danger. 102. Still alive, still in it. $114. In danger. In danger. Another double heal more. Still at 114. 130. If we can get these 3 swings off, we're in a really good space, but we got to get them off. 146, looking really good. Yeah, he's getting really good rolls here. He's going to get two here. We got it guaranteed. 161's enough. Get some GGs out in chat for HoodyTwoShoes. Going to take our win tonight and move the 1-0 in the Tantagel group. And Miplet, unfortunately, will move to 0-1 as a result. Yeah, that's a man. That is a sketchy level. I mean, you can't argue with the results that it worked. It worked. Was it ideal? I don't know. That's for you to decide as the viewer. I definitely would have been level 17 diving there, I think. But again, I'm not in a racing mindset because I'm not in the seed. Yeah, Miplet, meanwhile, does get to that level 16. Says absolutely not, is going to continue on. But we also have to recall that Miplet is 16 defense less than where Hoodie is because of the difference in shields. And guess what? We got tonight's winner, HoodyTwoShoes, joining us here in the chat. GG's Hoodie, how are you doing, buddy?
Hey DK, this was an interesting seed for sure. I am feeling like I had immediate regrets. About not getting another level. About when I went into Charlotte, but like I figured I had to try. Like it's in my blood. It was the level to go on if you can win. Like you can win. Obviously you can win if you can win. It's just I was worried about the high rolls and the low heals, and we got those. Worried about the high rolls and the low.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you definitely have you got. I mean, I was really scared for you once you went in Red Dragon, immediately another Red Dragon with an ambush. I was like, this is not going well at all, right? And I was already against the dive from the get-go. But I mean, as you said, if you can get there, it is winnable, and just enough of the rolls from the Dragon Lord when they did go high rolled in the right spot where you could still fight, and you won with a swing or two to spare.
I mean, the Dragon Lord didn't ambush me at like 58 agility or whatever it was, which is unbelievable. Because if I had 92, I know I would have gotten ambushed. But if I had 92, yeah, I like those. But the first red dragon, I was thinking like maybe I just go and outside. You know, the second one I was really, I just something in me was like, you know what? Just try. You know what? Just try. If you have to outside heal, go get the level. It's whatever. You know, it's bad, but get the level. Figured I would just give it the old college try. Like I would just give it. I had more heal mores than I needed, and I figured if I could make it there, I used like 4 extra heal mores in the Dragon Lord fight, something like that.
Yeah, I believe you used 3 extras where you had the double heal more, and then you still had, you know, the additional swing at the end. So yeah, you had some wiggle room for sure. Your rolls were pretty good. Don't get me wrong. You rolled really well there as well, so that didn't hurt. Yeah, you might have been right, and half of my instinct was to bail and go get more. Like, this is ridiculous. What are you doing? So like, it might have been completely, absolutely the wrong choice to dive there. I don't know, but like, look, I respect Miplet. I'm not trying to like. I don't want to play the game of like, well, you know, I can go get another level. It'll probably be fine. Like, I don't know. Like, as far as I know, Miplet is right there with me, and I want to treat it like it's, you know, any opponent. Like, so I figured I'd respect Miplet enough to fear the loss and try to win when I had the stats to win. So that's what I did. It might have been the wrong tactical choice, but that's like what I was thinking about when I made the choice. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, Miplet ended up being, I think, approximately about 6-7 minutes behind you to where you both were getting to the same level area. Did get behind a little bit early. The biggest issue with that from the early game was your exploration went a lot smoother. You were able to get out. You know, you found mountain, luckily made it through. That bottom zone wasn't free, and, you know, you made it through that bottom zone to be able to clear it out. Even if you didn't need anything out of there, it still gave you the knowledge. Your first dive to go deep in Grave went well, where Miplet did die. And Miplet kept coming up short of finding the towns. And by the time he found Garanham, it was just past the hour mark. And I think at that point, he opted to not even care about trying to do the gold grind. So right now, he's operating on a 16 defense point disadvantage because he only has a small shield. Oh, is there no large on the seed? That's because the first town that I saw with gear was Garanham, and it had the, you know, magic armor, silver shield, and I knew there was a gold grind, so that was like what I was trying to do. But then the first time the first couple times I tried Grave, I died to the knight and figured, all right, I'll get some XP and I'll come back. And then I was able to get the key like the next time I tried, and I didn't know that there was like Stone Man, you know, whatever else the terrifying things in that zone were, which, you know, shares a mountain too, like you said. So I think just a bunch of rolls went my way. I got a bunch of, you know, in sports, favorable bounces, those kinds of things. So I think it's a number of those kinds of things levied in my favor on this one. Yeah, favorable bounces will always happen in this game with its heavy ladenly RNG nature. But we're getting 3 power, 10 agility, no more hit points, and 4 MP at level 17. So that's another heal more, a little bit more agility. Defense even worse than mine, though. I mean, it's still pretty sketch, really. Yeah, that's ugly. You got the outside chance at a double if it decides it wants to roll a little low for you, but I'm not trusting doubles. The 0 HP was sell just the death necklace and fairy water? Maybe it looks all right. Yeah, he really looked hard at that. It looks like he's going to go give it a shot, and we'll see which way he opts to go. You know, whether he wants to go the fairy water route, if he wants to just hope for doubles, if he wants to go to the death necklace route like yourself. There's a lot of options. But to answer your initial question, yes, there is at least one large shield available. I don't remember which town it was, but Miplet definitely saw it. And then I don't think either of you ever even looked at the shops in Cantlin. For you, there was no reason at all at that point. Yeah, I was considering looking for a broadsword in Breck when I was over there, because I was looking, you know, thinking that maybe I was going to have to fight that red dragon or a golem, you know, eventually, and I didn't want to do it with the hand axe, but I just ended up not wanting to spend the time to go to the town because I had the magic armor and the silver shield. I was just, you know, pleased as punch to be able to get those two things with our low HP and hurt more. No, I think that went well, and that was what we were speculating as well, as whether you would want to get a broadsword or not. Just knowing there was a red dragon, and it was ultimately guarding a sword. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, the seed went rather well. It was interesting. How'd you feel about that early game? And you know, I know you tried to press a little bit, and then ultimately would grind a level or two, and then try to press, and then go back again. How'd you feel that you went through on that?
I was feeling a little bit uncomfortable about the situation at the beginning, just not sure. Like I felt like I had explored, the directions that were available without really, pushing too hard and getting into like a tin cup kind of a situation. So I felt like there probably wasn't anything super easy to find. But I was just worried that, maybe Miplet didn't spend the time and got good XP. I feel like I was lucky to find that Drakey. I don't think it was in East or North zone. I think that was just like a corner zone that happened to have a Drakey. So being able to get the Drakey and the red slime for a level so I could fight the magicians and the magic Drakeys, I think was pretty helpful. But then I didn't spend a lot of time in the South zone in the desert there. I just kept seeing red slime poltergeist and nothing else, and I was not interested in that. And then there was that metal scorpion in the West zone that I didn't see forever, but I settled on the, sleeping the drolls, and that seemed like the best available option. I'm not sure though. So I wasn't feeling, to answer your question, 100% confident, but I also felt like there wasn't something glaringly obvious that I felt like I wasn't doing. It just was a bad situation, and it kind of felt bad.
Now, I think you summarized it well, and I was actually surprised when he searches in the throne room, feel the wind blowing from behind the throne. I didn't know that was a thing that it said. That's hilarious. Amazing.
That's pretty cool.
But I learned something new about this game. But
GG to Miplet.
Did he DNF?
He did, yeah.
Well, get some GGs out in the chat for Miplet. He played a hell of a race. He really did. He was not that far behind, all things considered. And at certain points, it did look a little sketchy on his end. But ultimately, I think what he needed was to do this level 17, have Hoody's level 16 dive, go deep, like I was saying when you started the dive, to have you go deep and then it ultimately not be a successful dive, but waste all that time and let him catch up, which ultimately almost happened. By the time you were finishing, he was already passing level 16, so he was right there with where you were and heading towards 17. So, but very nicely done.
For sure. I was thinking that like the play that I'm making right now is the one where I could feasibly lose, and like, metagaming might suggest that, in terms of the race time points or whatever, maybe I should consider that I should be safer instead of whatever. But like I said before, the mentality that won out for me was that this is the summer tournament. Everybody plays to win. Everybody is a good player regardless of their rank. And like, I respect Miplet. I know he is about the game. I know he knows what to do. And I just there's no way that I'm going to go out treating my opponent like a chump, right? Like, I'm going to go out treating my opponent with respect. Like, I think that he's potentially, on my heels. And so that was the reason that I made the choice that I did, even if it might have been, strategically not the optimum play.
No, I mean, that's very respectable thought process as well. And I mean, at any given time, just like you said, maybe your beginning game didn't go well and Miplet found that zone and just cruised through to that level 8 Hurtmore, which is when things definitely finally started to open up to an extent, right? And just gets all the right moves. So it doesn't matter who you're racing at any given time. Anybody's got a chance to win if things go right for them and it doesn't go right for you. So exciting times. But I know Miplet's in chat there. Did you have anything to say out of the chat there, Miplet, about your thoughts on the seed? But GG's to you nonetheless. It was a really fun race to watch. The faces say it all. The faces say it all. I appreciate that. I love it. But no, it was a really fun race to watch. Like I said, early on, there we see Dragon Lord had 159 HP overall. So, but early on, it was a little Hoodie advantage, and then Miplet actually did start getting the grind and did take the experience point lead for a bit when you guys were, between the 975 and 1500 level. Somewhere in there, and then experience was pretty tight until Hoodie finally wrapped up the final completion of exploration, where you picked up the rainbow, got the cords, got the armor, and knew what you needed to do from there. And that's when the separation started happening, because Miplet still had those last few locations still defined while you went into that dedicated grind on the Axe Knights up in the Northeast Zone. And that's all she wrote from there. Had that great dive, and things went well. But any final thoughts from either of you on this seed before we wrap this up?
Yeah, you just reminded me. I wanted to ask if there had. I'm sure there was discussion, because I felt in the moment like, I got the sword from the red dragon. That was great. It was 70 HP. I knew it was going to be tight, but I got it. And then I think my mistake was going and healing and trying to more like, what are you doing? I knew about the zone. Like I should have just gone straight to that Golem, Magic Wyvern, Axe Knight zone again, like I did eventually. And then I felt like going back was the right play to the red after I got, like 97 HP, but I just was a little bit unsure of like what the optimum thing for me to be. I felt like I didn't play it perfectly in that moment.
It was interesting because initially when you started heading there at 70, I was speculating as to why, because I was like, unless he wants the sword to use for the golem, which ultimately I think that's where you were thinking as well. I was like, but this fight's going to be ugly. And then it started bashing you for like low to mid 40s, right? And I was like, this is ugly. But, you got through and you got it. But I think going back to that northeast zone would have been the optimal play at that point. Just because you already had seen how nasty that Red Dragon fight could be and how resource intensive. But I agreed with you going back to it for that final, level or two, whatever it was that you ended up getting before diving. I think it was the better overall, more consistent fight.
Yeah, that's my in the moment assertion was like, why did I go back to the Red Dragon? I should have gotten the sword and immediately headed right back to where I was. I eventually got there, I eventually did what I think was the right thing, but yeah, I was just kind of in the moment, like this was wrong. Oops.
Yeah, buddy. Well, make sure if you haven't already, follow both of these runners, HoodyTwoShoes and Miplet. They are both amazing people, fun as heck, and it's always fun to watch them play this game and sometimes some other games as well. But we'll see if we're shipping it off anywhere here. No news yet, and I don't know who has power to do that. But if we're going to ship it off, we'll find a target here in a moment. But yeah, I'll open up any final words before we wrap up everything else today.
Yeah, just want to give a shout out to Shahali for jumping on the volunteer for the restream and I'm assuming tracking. I really appreciate it. It's awesome to get these races on. Thanks for commentating, DK. Really appreciate it. You guys are the MVPs. GG Miplet, good luck against everybody else. Tantagel group hype. You got to support your group mates. Yeah, it was a fun time. GG everyone. This is the exciting time. Watch these races. Let's go.
Yeah, and as I started this out, there is a absolute ton of races coming up. So just keep an eye out on this channel. We're going to get as many restreamed as humanly possible, which, by the way, we do have another one coming up tonight at 11 p.m. Eastern. We will be broadcasting the Beta Strep Atom Raptors round one, group one stage race, and sure to be pretty good. Both runners, fantastic. Beta are returning champ. And we'll see how that goes, but that'll be broadcast at 11 p.m. Eastern. We do have one on tap for tomorrow as well at 7 p.m. Eastern. It looks like HoodyTwoShoes round 2 and Ursine will both be facing off out of the Tantagel again. So look for those as well. Look for some Red Slime Zone action wherever possible and other broadcasts as we move along through the journey. It looks like over the next several days, there are a ton of races. Well, I guess that'll wrap it up for us tonight. But for our tracker and restreamer, Shahali, I'm DK9146, everybody. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for getting hyped for some Dragon Warrior Randomizer Summer Tournament action. Have a good night.